Thanks for visiting Patient Weather. Today I'm meteorologist Al Peterlin. I'd like to talk about the weather health stresses for April 16th, 2026. We do keep additional graphics at tpatw.com, and we maintain a storefront on Amazon. Patient Weather storefront supports the activities of Patient Weather. Looking at the surface map, for Thursday, we have an active front sitting about Wyoming and putting a lot of unsettled weather across the Rockies, especially the northern Rockies. We have another low pressure center sitting over Michigan, keeping a lot of activity from the Great Lakes over to New England, but really up the Appalachians all the way from eastern Tennessee up into western Pennsylvania. Looking at our vitality index, which is a measure of all of the individual activities that might have some impact on human health, and you can see we have a lot of activity going on in the Pacific Northwest and across the northern Rockies, actually on into the northern plains. We have another area of unsettled weather running all the way from Texas clear on up into Iowa and stretching across the southern lakes up into New England. Looking at pressure change, we will have post-frontal rising pressure from Washington and Oregon across Idaho to Montana and North Dakota, but we have a bit of falling pressure across Utah, a little bit in the plains, especially western Kansas, and then a lot of falling pressure here across portions of New England. Temperature change also interesting. The Bermuda high is holding off to the east, keeping the east sweltering, but we do have some cold air pushing back into Nevada and the northern Rockies and the northern plains, all the way from Nevada up into Montana to North Dakota. Nice warming before that front, just a little bit right here in Nebraska and moving into Iowa. Looking at the change in dew point temperatures, a relatively pretty similar pattern with cold or falling dew point temperatures here in the Pacific Northwest. But what interests me is the rising dew points in the southeast and starting to approach into Florida. Another area of interest with the instability, and remember, lightning does have some impact on migraine. We will have unsettled weather and a risk of showers. Thunder showers, maybe some even active and severe, all the way from the southern plains clear on up into Missouri, Iowa, and into the portions of the lower portions of the Great Lakes, extending all the way through northern Ohio into eastern Pennsylvania. And finally, looking at the change in oxygen availability, we will have some migraine stresses here in the inland portions of California and significantly across Nevada into Utah, up into Idaho, Wyoming, Montana, and North Dakota. Another area of some migraine stresses running across the upper or middle Mississippi Valley to the Ohio Valley from Illinois across Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan. We will have a risk of asthma and arthritis up the plains, Oklahoma through Kansas up into South Dakota. And then we have another area of asthma and arthritis stress here in New England, but mainly this time centered about Massachusetts, Vermont, and New Hampshire. Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather. Your comments are appreciated, and if you hurt, tell us.